Like and subscribe if it's your vibe. If it's your vibe, like and subscribe. Okay, Bluepoint Games closed. Unfortunate. It's an L for everybody. As a gamer, anytime a studio closes, it's an L. Whether you like the studio, whether you didn't like the studio, whether you didn't care, it's an L, right? The gaming landscape is changing. Companies that are big in the industry are just restructuring. The difference between Sony and Microsoft is it's basically money, right? Microsoft having trillions of dollars, Sony might have billions, but what's a billion to a trillion? If you all remember, back in the day when the PS3 launched, Sony was in a huge pickle with their gaming division. Sony as a whole company, because remember, they're not just PlayStation. They're electronics, TVs, cameras, phones, you name it. They were in a world of trouble. And they were losing a lot of money. They're not in a position where if PlayStation fails, they will be okay. I don't think so. Not from an economic financial standpoint. If PlayStation fails, they are not they won't be okay. Sony is still a thriving company. They're still doing good. They've bounced back since their mistakes in the past, but PlayStation is a big revenue point. It's a big source of revenue for them that they have to make sure that it succeeds, which is why they play it very safe. I'll give you an example. The old model of selling consoles at a loss and making money back through games. That was Sony from the PS1 to the PS2 to the PS3. PS4 was the first time that they made a profit off of every single console sold. I don't know if it's like that for PS5, but I know for PS4 for sure. You could look it up. It's Wikipedia, Google, whatever. I think they made like 18, 20 bucks per console sold, right? You do the math, multiply 20 times how much million that they sold, and that's how much they made off PS4s. Because the landscape is changing, because development costs are high, because it's it's such a gamble right now because of how expensive it is to make a game that you have to almost kind of guarantee that it's going to be successful. With that being said, I'm looking at it like Sony probably had some projects for Bluepoint. They're looking at the market. They're looking at their operating costs. They don't know if it's going to sell, right? Because let's be honest, people aren't really buying games on the PlayStation platform. You can say you are, but you're not. A lot of YouTubers say this. I entirely agree. Most people that bought a PlayStation to actually play PlayStation games have another console or PC somewhere that they're playing. The people that primarily buy PlayStation are buying it for games that Sony doesn't really own, or right, they're again, the casuals. They're just buying. They don't really buy games. They just don't. They buy their usual sports sims and Call of Duties and maybe the Grand Theft Auto, and then maybe they'll try something here and there. But for the most part, they're not really buying games. There's a lot of people's houses that you'll go to and you'll see like 3 to 4 games that just sit there in their entertainment unit with their PlayStation. That I feel is a fact. So because of that, you have to your business model before, which was sell the console at a loss, make the money back through the games, all that good stuff. It's not happening. This is why this is why I think they didn't even release any. I think it was last year or the year before where they announced you're not getting any first party IPs. This is why they hold on to the PS4, right? It's because it's not like before. So I just think that Bluepoint is just a victim of the restructuring of the current landscape, which is gaming. Sorry, the current landscape of gaming, and they're just a victim of that. It's nothing more, it's nothing less. It's not corporate greed. Yes, some people are saying, oh, Sony's got millions of dollars. They could pay to keep Bluepoint around. From a business standpoint, what am I keeping you around for if you're not making me the numbers that I want to make? It is what it is. It's an unfortunate reality of where the industry is headed. It's become super competitive, and the casuals have just taken it over. If the gamers actually took over, and we actually, because gamers, if you're watching this channel, you're most likely a gamer. So you're like 10% of the market, maybe 20 if you want to stretch it, but you're like 10% of the market. You don't really matter as much as you think. You know what I mean? You don't really matter as much as you think. It's the casuals. It's the casuals that are moving the market. It's the casuals that are buying the games. It's the casuals that are buying PlayStations. Like, let's be real. They're the ones that move the market. So if the market is moving in a certain direction, and you have certain studios that are catering towards the gamers, because let's be real, Demon Souls, Shadow of the Colossus, some of these games, these are gamer games. You know what I mean? Gamers, no matter what type of gamer you are, these are gamer games. So these, like they're just not moving the needle anymore. I expect more layoffs. I expect more studio closures, and it's a little bit scary because it's proving this narrative that I've been feeling, that just it's very uncertain how gaming is gonna look in like the next 5-6 years. It's very scary because I don't want to be in a world where it's just live service and microtransactions. I'll be honest, I don't. I want to see some of that art form that I'm accustomed to seeing as I grew up, and what made me love video games in the first place, which makes it one of my favorite bona fide hobbies that I do. And so it's just another like indicator with this closure that this is what's happening. The market is changing. It's a lot. Everyone's focused on live service, the little quick fixes, right? Like the casuals are just running the market, and us as gamers, we're just taking the L. And maybe it might change, maybe it might not. I'm not sure, but that's my take on it. I just think that it's just to summarize, Bluepoint Games is a casualty of just the gaming landscape, where gaming is headed, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. This quick little food for thought. Y'all take care.